make this statement before I even bring in my buddy and colleague, Ryan in Sacktown. If the Sacramento Kings lose this game to the Miami Heat, and they're currently losing 65-62, this will be one of the worst losses in recent memory. And by recent memory, I'm not talking about a month, 2 months. I'm talking about like in years. Okay, I don't care if they win by 1 point or 40 points. Losing this game tonight against this Miami team with all of their players not in the lineup would be, to me, inexplicable, unexplainable. You can use any adjective you want. No excuses.
I'm gonna say it's not that big of a deal if they lose tonight.
Come on.
Yeah, no, Grant. What are you measuring, Grant? What's your measuring stick? A championship for this
My
team?
measuring stick is the lineup. Excuse me, the lineup of players that are not playing for the Miami Heat today. Not who is playing. The players that are not on the court tonight.
Okay, but they still, yes, they're missing the core of their team, but they've still got some great players for them that play roles. Now they're getting featured tonight, and the Kings are giving some of them looks, but they're still, last time I checked, 5th in the East, Grant. So even if you don't have Jimmy Butler, it's still a decent team. And they're on 3 days rest.
They don't have Jimmy Butler. They don't have Rozier. They don't have Hero. I mean, no, I'm sorry. I disagree with you on this. They have Bam Adebayo, who is a tremendous player.
Yes.
Okay? I'm a big Adebayo fan. Duncan Robinson's up and down. But again, Kevin Love is way past his prime. He comes off the bench. I'm talking about look at the you just said it. The core of their team is basically not playing tonight.
Yeah, but the core of their team isn't bad. They have pretty good depth. That's all I'm saying, Grant. If this was a game where the Kings were on equal rest as Miami, let's have the conversation. I'm with you. The back-to-back, I with a team that's fighting for the 6th seed, this would not be an awful loss. Awful, in my opinion.
Well, I think it will be one of the worst losses in years if they lose this game. I'm saying it right now. I think this will go down as one of the worst losses in years if they do not win this game. But all right, Jerry Reynolds joins us. Jerry, what was your take on that first half?
Well, if you like a lot of offense and absolutely terrible defense, then this is the game for you. That's all I say. I mean, that was really, really depressing. Yeah.
So when we were talking about you 24 hours ago, now, actually it was 1 hour less because the game started a little bit earlier, but you talked specifically about how good the Kings defense was. So that defense that you saw last night, I guess it just evaporated overnight, right?
Either that or I'm a lying dog. I don't know. I mean, I thought I saw some really good defense, and scrappy and playing a really good Clipper team. And obviously the Heat are a really good team when they're healthy. They clearly aren't healthy. They don't have half their main guys and, 65 points. And so,
it's inexcusable. Ryan and I are disagreeing on this. You cannot allow this team with the lineup they put out on the floor tonight without their core players 65 points. There's just it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing.
Well, and I take it a step further. I mean, this is an Eric Spoelstra coach team.
Yes.
You let them hang around, and you got something on your hands, because we've already seen. I thought it looked like the Kings were starting to get away a little bit early in the second quarter. Then he starts changing up his zones and giving a lot of different looks, and the Kings didn't adjust real well.
Ryan, you and me talked about this 24 hours ago on the postgame show after the Kings beat the Clippers. And I said this. I said, I can tell you one thing, and I will guarantee you this. The Miami Heat, regardless of who's on the floor, they're going to play hard.
No doubt.
Okay? Like, it doesn't matter. They're going to play their asses off, and we saw that in the first half.
No doubt. They came to play. Look, they're getting play a little faster than they normally do, which they've hung, and the Kings have gone to a smaller lineup, but you can never count them out of a game, and they shoot 11th in the NBA from beyond the arc, so those spray threes are giving the Kings trouble.
Well, I'm gonna give you my score prediction. I think the Kings are gonna win this game, and I think they're gonna win the game about 128 to about 113.
You know,
All
I
right.
really,
I'm looking for a big second
yeah, I
half.
think the Kings are going to win the game. I think, I'd say 122, 115. I just think if they can really put some ball pressure on a little bit and just kind of stop some of the straight line drives, I mean, it's going to be tough for Miami to score that much. Although we're seeing,
Yep.
Kevin Love and Caleb Martin making a lot of shots, which they can do. But anyway, it's all come down to defense. Guard somebody. There's 5 on each team. Each guy can guard somebody.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw one other thing in there, Jerry. Turnovers. The Kings have 6 turnovers in the first half. All 6 belong to Fox and Sabonis. They cleaned it up a little bit in the second quarter. That is going to be my key in the second half for the Kings to have a victory.
That's a great one. I mean, yeah, I think they just got to 2 things. Obviously, make free throws, take care of the ball. I think, and of course, defensive intensity. But I think both Fox and Sabonis really forced a couple of things, tried to dribble in traffic a little bit too much, and that here again, as Grant pointed out, and I totally agree. One thing about the Heat, they may not win, but they won't beat themselves. You have to beat them. And so if I'm Mike Brown, I'm telling the guys, hey, you better bring your A game here for 24 minutes.
Jerry, really quick, is Domas running the fast break too much? Is that actually slowing the Kings' pace down?
Could be. I mean, I do think that the guards are running away from him too much. So it's hard, it's a lot of times on defensive rebounds, you need somebody to throw it ahead to. And so they're used to, but I think it's a good point. I think if I were them a little bit more on a quick defensive rebound, if he could really look ahead, it would pick up the pace. But the guards have got to make themselves available.
Well, again, you'll take a 1-point win. You kind of knew that this would be an ugly game just based on the pattern of the Kings on second nights of back-to-backs and playing teams that have key players out. I mean, we've seen it time and time and time and time again. Okay. And so I'm not surprised that the game is relatively close, but I am surprised at how awful Sacramento's defense was in the first half. I did expect more in that, and I got to believe it's going to pick up here in the third and fourth quarter. Jerry, you're spot on. The one thing you do not want to do if you're Sacramento is with 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter, have this game be close. I don't like that recipe for success against this team. And I know that they don't have Butler. I know they don't have Hero. I know they don't have Rozier, but they have Eric Spoelstra coaching this team, and they're very consistent.
Yeah, and they got Bam Adebayo's top flight player. Kevin Love's a veteran who's going to do smart things. And then, this gives the rookie Jaquez a chance to really show what he can do. And then Caleb Martin, he's always been a good player. He shouldn't be getting 15 points a half, but he is a legitimate, big time player. He was a 6th, 7th man on a finalist. You can't do that by accident.
Yeah, no doubt, Jerry. And like Grant said, if this team hangs around, that's going to be a problem. And who's going to guard Bam if Sabonis gets into foul trouble in the start of the second half? He had 2 quick fouls at the start of the first quarter.
Yeah, well, so far nobody has. So you really, anybody, I do think it wouldn't hurt the Kings maybe to try a little more zone at times and make them do a little something different. But we'll see. Like I say, I do think it's going to be awfully important for the Kings to establish themselves defensively here in the first 5-6 minutes. I mean, to let the Heat know that you're going to have to work for your baskets.
Well, the score right now is 65-62. A post-game show coming up right after this one before the Kings hit the road at Denver and at Minnesota. But, we keep on talking about this, and you all know, you're fans. You look at the standings every day. I mean, one win, one loss can fluctuate you 3 spots, okay? So don't be losing this game, okay?
No, this whole thing's going to go down the last week. I mean, there's probably going to be 3 or 4 teams that are pretty solid, I think, when it's all said and done. But I think from 5 to 10, it could change dramatically in the last week and a half.
Yep, absolutely. It certainly could. But the Kings, Grant, to your point, That's why this win tonight's big. And you know the name we haven't mentioned yet, guys, at the half, and I'll go to both of you. Keegan Murray. He's 8 of 8, or he's 5 of 5 from the floor tonight, 3 of 3 from beyond the line.
Well, they're going to need more because right now you're not getting much from your bench. I mean, the bench did nothing in that first half, and I'm a little surprised. I really thought that, this is the type of game where you need your bench, and I think the bench is going to have to play a lot better. But, listen, Keegan Murray, there's really nothing about his game I don't like. I think that you all have talked so much about his defense. He's shown the ability to be that guy. If I was going to nitpick and pick one thing, and again, it's nitpicking here, there are too many games where I don't think he's into it offensively, where I expect more from him offensively. But the way the guy plays, his effort, his defense, I mean, he's only in his second year. And if you project about where he's going to be 2-3 years from now, I think he could be an all-star in this league. I really do.
Oh, I do too. I mean, when you compare him to somebody like Laurie Marketing in his second year, or Page in his second year, or Chris Middleton, he's well above any of those guys at the same. Doesn't mean, I don't know where it's going to go. But his biggest flaw to me is he basically is almost too good a teammate. He'll blend in. He doesn't really want to force things. And at times, if you're a good scorer, you got to be a little hungry, a little thirsty. Go find a way to score. And I think that'll come. But really, he needs to be a little hungrier.
Yeah, no doubt. That's kind of been the difference for this Kings team, is Harrison Barnes getting that hunger a little bit down the last, 4 or 5 games. But Keegan doing big things for the Kings regardless. I think the other thing we need to talk about for the second half, guys, is assists. You've got Malik Monk. He had 6 assists last time I checked in the first half. And then Sabonis and De'Aaron split most of the other assists. So you need more from one of the other two guys.
Well, Jerry, final thoughts before we wish you a good evening?
Well, it'll be a good evening if they come out and put their defensive pants on and get after it. A little ball pressure, be nice. It's like, you can congratulate them after the game and be good sports. In the meantime, go ahead and be little shitbirds out there. Go ahead and get after it.
Shitbirds. And so you're the lying dog that we need to say goodbye to now, huh?
Sure looks like it, man. I'm ashamed of myself, but there's time when it can turn around.
Take care, Jerry.
See you guys.
Thanks, Jerry.
All right. Now, Rhino, I'm going to be a game time decision for the post-game show, so you may be going solo. If the Kings lose, you will be going solo, okay?
My take was that bad, Grant? Man, all right. Well, I hope you can make it, partner.
All right. Hey, enjoy the second half, everybody. Remember the post-game show coming up in about an hour. Bye-bye now.